Just when you think all the pizzas were delivered here today, I got news for you. We still got one more to deliver. Chicken Ranch Pizza just in time for the game versus Envision.
Just the
Final
way you
two
said that was like, you know what you need for the Super Bowl to sit down a halftime show? How about a chicken ranch pizza? Do you love ranch dressing and chicken? Well, we got it all combined into one, into a pizza.
Into a pizza. It's just absolutely healthy for you. Could not be better. And hey, we're just
Zero
getting
carbs,
ready to
zero calories.
Yeah,
No fat.
actually, it subtracts calories while giving you energy. It breaks the rules of science. All this and more as we prep for the Owl Season 2 with the Denver Papa Johns. But no.
Oh my god, that's such a great name.
We are actually here at the Overwatch Beat Invitational. Final match of the day, Chicken Ranch Pizza versus Envision. And Chicken Ranch Pizza looked very dominant earlier today here, Jason.
Dominant, delicious, I think, is the two Ds you can give them in that match. Yeah, you got to credit to Keller, who's made that switch from hit scan DPS over to projectile DPS. Did a very good job, especially on Route 66, where we did see him on his Genji. Vol as well has had fantastic time on his Zarya plays so far today, and Smurf, who's kind of the quote-unquote newer additions to the team, in general, has kind of lived up to his name so far in his tank play. Yeah, we have Kaiser. Unfortunately, not able to play at the moment because of his internet, but maybe, over the course of tomorrow and the next day, maybe we'll see him come out. The Emperor will be back one day.
The Emperor shall return. He has not run away from us yet. As Jason, take a look at the defense here for Envision. Really seems to be pretty standard here, where they're going to be putting a lot of priority on protecting Buds and Crimzo in the back.
This is actually exactly what FU did earlier on. Fusion University, they had the Soldier stuck with the Zenyatta and the Lucio. You had Zachary on Tracer playing with his two tanks up in the front. I just wonder if they're going to go that route with the Soldier play, or are they going to be a little bit more clumped together? Because we had that happen in the Savages versus Chicken Ranch Pizza game, where I think the Savages kind of stuck together, and that's not how the dives are really going to work too well.
Well, one thing we saw from the dive last time with Chicken Ranch Pizza is just how aggressive it was between Keller and Sharp, where they had Smurf lead the way, and while they were focusing on Keller, Sharp was able to clean up in the back. There's a lot to be said for double flanker combinations, but Keller and Sharp together were scary, very scary the last time around. This time, though, they're focusing on tanks. Eye shining, almost getting blown up here immediately, and that's going to make some room for the offense, but they lost Smurf. Now things could easily go back the other way.
Keller's trying to go in by himself. He's going to die eventually to Ice Shiny, who just sticks the Tesla cannon in his face, picks himself up a fairly easy frag, and I think the defending side has been able to do a really good job. I think the attacking side of Chicken Ranch Pizza was smart. They knew exactly what to do, but then they kind of overcommitted, or at the same rate, the defending side of Envision backed away their tanks quick enough to keep them alive.
It was an interesting back and forth where it shows what happens when you don't complete a kill, where iShiny got really low. They weren't able to finish a kill. They overdove trying to get to it, and as a result, they overextended such a degree that Envision turns the fight in their favor. McGravy, Jason, now back at his back, but this next fight isn't going to waste too much time. You see Chicken Ranch Pizza immediately coming in. Vol almost removed for his back. Smurf, heavily focused. He's immediately taken down. The tank pressure from Envision continues to be top-notch.
So maybe it wasn't Shane, maybe it wasn't Kangar that was having problems, maybe it's just how good Envision are at focusing on these Winstons, at these tanks, because Smurf, who's, really good for what we've seen so far today, has so far struggled in this match. He's constantly being attacked, the Discord orbs are there, and they don't really seem to have a response for it.
It wasn't even just Smurf there too, Vol was getting chunked down at the same time, but now things take on a different tilt, where Keller has Dragon Blade at the ready. Crimzo, his main goal here, Jason, is that he wants to stay alive and not be the victim of this dive before he can use Transcendence. Doesn't want the Transcendence forced out early. Sharp and hot pursuit. He sees the Winston heading toward him, and now he's going to use the Transcendence immediately. Now Keller, gonna wait, pulls out the blade as Transcendence fades, but runs right into a barrier and still chops Buds to pieces. Going through the gauntlet of support ultimates, but I don't know if it's going to be enough, as both Sharp and Smurf have fallen.
That was really well done by Fire to have the sound barrier off the back that once he heard the blade come in, so they did have a response that they needed to match Trance with Trance. Then they had the sound barrier advantage where Aid couldn't afford to use his at the right time. Sharp and Smurf have respawned back in though to join their team. I don't know if the defending side has enough people left with Ice Shiny now going down. Buds though, he's still on the high ground. He's still not being harassed so far as it does drop down below, but Aid picks himself up a big kill on the McGravy.
Envision, this defense hasn't been bad. I mean, yes, now they're... Oh, Crimson from the back takes down Sharp. And Envision, they can still fight their way through to defend this a little bit longer. Buds trying to tear his way on through. Solo without a tank, just backed up by supports as
Oh my
Crimzo
lord,
picks up another. Crimzo has been incredibly bloodthirsty here so far. 2 very key kills when Envision needed the most. And Jason, if they can reset here, they'd be 1 fight away from a first point hold.
I think they potentially could do it because McGravy has self-destruct too, and they're still picking up kills as Keller's trying to retreat. 47 seconds left. Smurf will eventually shut down the bloodthirsty Omnic of Crimzo, but the peeks he was doing, the shoulder peeks onto Gray, were fantastic with the Orbs of Destruction. But Gray's going to have his Transcendence, and Crimzo doesn't have his up. So we're going to have double support ultimates up for Chicken Ranch Pizza. On the other side, all we have is that Sound Bears. So Jaru's going to have to go big with this stick. He's got to probably attach onto Gray to force out that trance too early.
We'll see just what Jaru does here. Note that there was a swap up. Keller now on the 76. No Dragon Blade shenanigans on the menu. Jaru sitting here on top. Nice position to drop down. Does it stick? No, not quite. Doesn't hit the target he was looking for. Not going to force out anything here just yet. And now Gray immediately going to open up the Transcendence as soon as he got it. Aid, waiting in reserve, waiting, boom. Sound Barrier comes in. It's a good support layering here from the attack. And Envision struggling to do anything against this wall of healed up players. And Vol might have just put it over the top.
Yeah, Crimzo, he's still on the high ground. He's still trying to provide some sort of cover, but there's just too many targets for him to kill. Eventually, he'll just jump to his death. And finally, Chicken Ranch Pizza will take the point, but that was a lot closer than we've seen out of the past. And they had a very clean 3-0 sweep over against the Savages, and they're now struggling here to get through the second point. They already almost lost on the first point alone, but going to the second phase, I mean, we have to take stock of what they've got. They've got Attack Visor, but they're trying to put Keller in a position to use it. And they don't really have much off the back of that, so it's gonna be a little bit tough to hold this and to keep this, progression going.
This is up to Sharp here. Sharp needs to get to the back and force something out of Crimzo early to make Keller get the most out of this Attack Visor. That's sort of the ideal situation for them here. Crimzo under pressure right now. Doesn't use Transcendence immediately. Finally does use it a little bit later in the fight, but those few seconds could have made all the difference in the world. 5 versus 5 right now. Envision tearing through the front line, going forward, and it's McGravy that's controlling space right now and makes it a double kill before it's all said and done. Very good stuff here from McGravy towards the end of this fight.
Oh, great. A little bit of a delayed Transcendence, but looks like it was for a good cause, though, as they do clean up the rest of the targets here on the defending team for the payload. It was really questionable, because was it Smurf uses Primal Rage, Keller uses Attack Visor, Sharp used a Pulse Bomb after they already technically had, or should have, lost the fight, but they held on. Smurf stayed alive. He was able to help turn these, transition these into quite a few kills.
And the problem for the defense here is that getting out in decent positioning from this area is really rough. You take a look at how Chicken Ranch Pizza is set up. They're already set up in multiple areas and just cleave on through as soon as the defense moves out. Now, I think they might have guessed a little bit wrong. I think they thought they were coming out the top. Instead, the defense came out the other door, and they've gotten a decent engage in. Smurf, already pretty low, able to get out, riding the edge right now, and no, he's gonna fall. Jaru finishes the kill. Now it's up to Vol to take the baton. Self-destruct up, buying space, doesn't connect on anything. And Vol has to shoulder the tank burden here while he's surrounded on all sides, and now Bud just might put it over the top of his visor.
Who is this Crimzo guy? He's hitting so many right clicks. He's been killing Gray. I think it's like a second or third time so far in this match alone. He is completely dominating Gray at the moment with the Zenyatta. And it's allowing him to build up these Transcendences very, very quickly.
He's got the Transcendence again for this final fight, depending on how needed it even is. Really, this is where you have to look to Sharp once more, where it's been a little bit quieter from Sharp than what we expected from the first series. Sharp, I think he's just going to go for the Ninja here. Ends up with a Diva in his face, has the Pulse Bomb at the ready. The rest of his team moving in from the back. The Attack Visor connects, finds fire, as Sharp and the rest of the team now focusing on the payload. Smurf builds up Primal just in time. Well, Primal going to be coming up here and onto the payload, zoning out Buds, in fact. First, Buds in a world of hurt, ends up getting taken down, and Chicken Ranch Pizza was able to turn this back in their favor.
But in overtime, for a second time now, ZP. They've hit in overtime before they can complete the second or the objective. 2 times in a row isn't a good sign, but yes, they're completing nonetheless. Like, you can't harsh on them too much as long as they are finishing, and we haven't seen their defense yet on Route 66.
We got a Widow swap here, Jason. Bud's going to something he's actually very well known for, and immediately pops Keller. Goodbye.
Yeah, now I get why you're saying, because you were trying to say that for Chicken Ranch Pizza to be aware. But it's because he hits a great shot at Keller as he does open things up with. And he also has good position. If this team can hold, like this corner, it's going to be very difficult for a Tracer to get up there. Sharp can have a difficult time to close this gap. But luckily he has Keller now, so they have that pretty much old school, you know, full dive composition. But Buzz doesn't care.
Buds finds Sharp immediately. One headshot after the other, keeping Envision on the winning tilt, and Buds is now public enemy number 1. With how he's handled the last 2 team fights, this is brutality. You gotta deal with the Widowmaker.
I mean, he's about to have his info side up too in this fight, and he's been on it for like what, a whopping 30 seconds. If they can keep holding this position, like you gotta look for a very quick dive. You gotta have aid, like sound barrier, speed boost them in. You gotta jump onto Buds, who now has his grappling hook back up and ready to go, so he can easily, well, most likely be able to create some distance between him and the dive. But I agree, Sharp's been a little bit quiet, Keller's been a little bit quiet so far in this match. But we're into the final push here, into overtime, ZP.
Buds chunks Smurf early on, chunks Bold, dealing terrible damage to the front line of Chicken Ranch Pizza here. Big reason why Smurf's out of the fight. Finds Keller. Buds is on fire right now. Everything is going his way. This man is unstoppable.
He's picked up 3 kills. Jaru gets a kill on a Gray. There's only, what, Vol left alive as he's a baby diva. He's going to be finished off, and this will finally be a defensive hold for Envision off the back of Buds. Bossing around Chicken Ranch Pizza.
Buds was just playing out of his mind there. If you look at what happened on that final fight, he didn't open with 2 picks, but he might as well have. When you chunk Winston and then chunk a diva in the beginning, think about what that does to a team's ability to be aggressive and move forward. You're going to slow the momentum. They're going to wait for heals. It's going to give your takes a chance to counterfire, and then he piles on by just getting 2 picks immediately after that. Absolutely nutty stuff from Buds.
The thing is, he's against like a full counter comp. Like you had a Diva, you had a Winston, you had a Genji, you had a Tracer, and yet they weren't able to kill him. They weren't able to get even close enough to him to stop him from being that effective.
Crazy. Well, now it's going to be on Chicken Ranch Pizza to get the most out of the Sombra, where, again, we've seen Sombra first point defenses happen plenty of times where you just get stuck in an EMP lock type of battle. And that's probably the most likely path to victory right now for Chicken Ranch Pizza, because they weren't able to finish out the map. They didn't even get very deep into third. And that all comes down to the Widow play of Buds, where it seems like he's feeling it right now. Jason, he might just be staying on the Widow.
I mean, why not at this rate? Like, they had a full comp to counter him, and he was not being countered. Like, that kind of says something, and that kind of gives you a lot of confidence that you need to play Widowmaker. I feel like Widow's one of those heroes that you have to have confidence to play properly at that kind of level. Like, you need to be confident to hit those shots, because if you don't take the shots, well, then you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, as the old saying goes. But Jaru's going to be on the Genji, and that's, I don't know why Jaru even switched over to Hitscan. I thought his Genji was fantastic when we did see even his Doomfist back in Contenders Season 1, I believe that was. But he didn't even play it, I believe, at APAC either. He switched more of a Hitscan role.
Now, it's very interesting just because his Genji did used to be so incredibly dominant, but he got put in Tracer jail at some point. However, the jail has been broken. He gets to be on Genji for at least as long as Buds is on Hitscan. And we'll see if Buds can recreate the magic that he had just a round ago. Buds moving forward. This time, not being as fortunate in chunking a tank, under pressure early on, and it's a better look for Chicken Ranch Pizza as they immediately identify and take out the problem.
Yeah, there's not like a big, giant warehouse they have to somehow find a Widowmaker in. She's pretty much out in the open, and especially when she just used her grappling hook, there's just free killing for them. The payload's still moving, though, in the meantime. Looks like they backed away to give it up some ground. Envision has to be careful, though, as Buds does respawn back in, as well as iShiny. But still, how are they shoving Chicken Ranch Pizza back when there's a 6-on-4 man advantage?
I think it's a Sombra, and oh my goodness, Gray just soloed down Crimzo, and that was without EMP, which built EMP in the process. It was a 2-for-1, even gets Buds from long range. Gray is turning this tide back in favor of Chicken Ranch Pizza, and more importantly, Jason, that EMP is going to be up.
Well, even more important than that, he's getting revenge. He's getting revenge against Crimzo, who just killed him, like, I think 2 out of 2 times in his Envision battles, and he's going to be going directly for this man as well. He's set up with a stealth in. He's going to be running straight in from the front. I'm going to throw the translocator in towards the backside, go directly past them, pop the EMP down. There's no Zen, though. Crimzo out-positioning him in that sense, and he hasn't died from it.
Crimzo wasn't there, but lucky for Gray, everyone else was, and the EMP enough to set up Sharp to clear through the 2 tanks in the front line, and that's going to be an easily won fight. And now this is where Gray sort of tells his team, please use health packs, give me another EMP, and he's going for Crimzo. He wants revenge, as you mentioned, right up in Crimzo's face, and gets him 100-0 with that Sombra clip.
I'd be so tilted if I was Crimson now. We're like 2-3 minutes in and he hasn't even had a single Transcendence yet. And Gray's on his like second EMP.
Gray has no fear either. He doesn't care about orbs being thrown in his face. He is just diving on a Crimzo and marking his territory, so to speak.
Well, the EMP with the blade could be the next bit of action. Sharp get taken very low. I'm not sure from what, but he's back to being relatively healthy. To be Jaru getting towards the backside towards Big Girls. The blade coming out of Keller looking for kills, but there's the Transcendence to shut this down.
Oh, and there's the cherry on top. The self-destruct. Gonna take down Smurf and Keller. Gray's built up an EMP, but too little, too late. Now I think he's just gonna try and stay alive here in the back. No, he's still attacking Crimzo. One versus everything. What a way to go out.
He wants that kill, even if it costs him his own life. The thing is, I think he could have just like not done that and just hidden, and then came in with his team now because they have the EMP ready to go.
Well, the problem here is that teams have gotten good at sort of fishing out for a Sombra, shooting down the hallway, trying the de-invisor. So you're right, there is a cost.
Well, I mean, at the
Gray
midi,
doing that.
the midi has hacked like back around the bend. He could have just like chilled there because I think that's where he came from. But I mean, either way, that's either here or there because they have to deal with how things have gone for them. Gray's gotten back in time. The EP has come down. It's eliminated. The sound barrier that fire just threw out.
Nice counter from the sound bearer from Gray. Gray moving in, looking for a little bit more, and the EMP has done its work. Vol and Smurf were there on the follow-through.
Oh, the C9!
Oh no! Oh, they weren't on the payload! What a disaster! They could have full held.
I thought Buds was on Fnatic and FNRGFE, not Cloud9. And McGravy, even, I don't know if you guys can see it on stream, but McGravy typed in chat, say it, and then Gray typed C.
You know, I gotta say that Jack had a sign for this amount of time between C9s, but either way, Gray going to the back here once more, going to the wealth and going Crimzo, but meanwhile Jaru, Dragon Blade out. Looking for anyone, really just focusing on tanks, is gonna be coming close to demecking Vol, but Vol just drops a self-destruct, doesn't care, and the defense will still hold strong for Chicken Ranch Pizza, and now, Jason, they kind of have to.
Yeah, because that's a little embarrassing. I mean, to be fair, right? In OWL, the very first game, the very first map, there was a Cloud9 happen on Dorado.
Yes.
So they can't feel too bad, but either way, you're not going to be happy about that when you might have been able to hold up on that first point. Yeah, you didn't complete the map, but you still got a lot more distance they've been able to get so far. 2 minutes left to go. McGravy's going to have his self-destruct, but that's pretty much it. As Crimson finally with the Transcendence build up just in the nick of time, won't be able to save Buds.
Keller right now holding onto the blade, doesn't want to use it in what can only be described as a pile of people inside that room. Instead wants to back out, get a little bit of health. Meanwhile, the offense still moving their way through, and Keller might have gotten caught here. This would be a very bad stagger indeed for Chicken Ranch Pizza. Keller gonna have to move his way out, Bowling Gray down, and he's still under assault.
I think Shiny just like went for a field goal kick right there, or punch, I guess it was, onto 8. He's got knocked completely across the map.
Oh, man. Well, the thing for Chicken Ranch Pizza is that they can regroup in time. They still have a very good chance of holding second. They only have to do 2 fights, Jason, and the next fight coming up, they have a big ult advantage.
They really do. The blade, I mean, there's no Transcendence. Like, what's going to stop him from hitting the blade? He just needs to get out, see where everyone is, and then make this work for him, as well as you have Sharp with a Pulse Bomb, who can pretty much win a fight by himself if he can connect on a couple of different targets. There's a Sound Barrier coming in as they do push in. Bull's not going to catch out onto that one. But again, he's Diva. Doesn't necessarily need it.
The barrier is out. Keller doesn't invest the blade right away. Didn't like the targets he had. Instead, looking to the back as Jaro and Crimzo in the sights. They lost Gray, so now, if they're going to invest anything, they got to do it now. The barrier is out. Keller is still waiting. Keeps on waiting. He's not going to have a team around him, and no. Now he uses it, dashes in, and Jaro gives him the slip. He's gone. You can't chase him anymore. You don't get the dash reset. Keller spins his camera. He knows he messed up, and he's going to fall as Envision is looking to be very close to bringing this into third.
And I believe Sharp's Pulse Bomb was eaten by McGravy too. I saw it being used, but I didn't see it actually blow up. So good job by McGravy to eat that one. The fight is still continuing, but it should be going the way here of Envision as McGravy's cleaning them up for 3 quick kills. Aid's gonna fall as he gets swatted into the sky. His body, oh my lord, his body's not gonna land for a long time. But they have 1:50. Just get around this corner. One fight will decide this first map.
That is a disaster for Chicken Ranch Pizza. That is a fight that they very well should have taken with the edge they had going in. Now, they're essentially on a whim and a prayer, hoping for Sharp to get a pickoff or for Vol to land the self-destruct of the gods. It's not necessarily unlikely, but they're going to have to go for it now. Vol, what do you have? You've already lost Sharp. You get demeched early. Oh my goodness, Vol is out of the fight, and Envision on their way to what could be a decisive victory.
Yeah, they've done it. They've killed everyone off. It's just Gray, the last man alive, as he will finally fall to none other than Crimzo again. And Envision, taking the first match. Honestly, going into this match, with how one-sided Chicken Ranch Pizza's game was just earlier on today, I thought this was going to be a pretty one-sided game for them too, but Envision looking strong.
And not only are they looking strong with players like Buds looking to be in top form on the Widowmaker, but they also got helped out a bit there too, where I do wonder where the game goes if Chicken Ranch Pizza just simply, you know, pays attention to the third letter of the alphabet and the number 9. But regardless,
It's like, where are you going with this EP? And then
oh no, I'll bring it back around. Don't you worry.
I thought
There's always
Crimzo.
a point.
Like third letter of the alphabet, C Crimzo, because he was insanely good.
Crimzo was great. The amount of early pickoffs he had, it actually reminded me of old school Boombox.
I know, right? What happened to Boombox these days?
People got used to Boombox and they've adapted. There was an era, though, where Boombox was sort of just surprising everyone with, oh yeah, Zenyatta can do that, can't he?
Yeah, that was, what you mean, at TakeOver?
Yeah.
That's where that's where he like kind of really made his name initially, just absolutely destroying everyone. But that was United, and Port United, I don't think ever won a tournament, did they?
No, they did. They won Contender Season 0.
Did they?
Yes. That was their last tournament they won, and then they fell off a cliff in Season 1, and, well, now they're dead. Feels bad, man. But they did have their shining moment of glory. They beat the curse at least once.
Not with Too Easy on the team, though.
No, not with Too Easy on the team.
Damn. So we're going on to
you've now made this very important clarification, Jason.
Well, I actually, because I was in Italy back in November, like the first week of November, with Sideshow casting a tournament there, and Too Easy and Valitaja and Mort, whatever was there, where they got to like pick people to be on their team like randomly from an audience. And Too Easy got into the finals against Crystal Gecko's team. And he was like, come on, let me go out on a high note. Let me pick up this victory. Let me get one victory in Overwatch before I end my career completely. And then they lost. So
and then Too Easy lost. Well, what could I say? I have no idea who Crystal Gecko is, but clearly shiny geckos were his bane.
Well, you know what else you'll lose? Pounds from drinking Soylent, the delicious drink. If you want it 50% off, scroll down below the stream. And you can click the banner and get 50% off, only valid in the US.
Well done. Bravo. Good sir.
You bring it back around, always.
You know what? Our sponsors, though, do help make this happen. Give them all the love. And if you're not giving them love, we'll shill even harder. And if you are giving them love, we'll shill even harder. There's no escape.
And, yeah. And also give love to our producer and spectator, Dashner. He's being very quiet. I'm not sure if you can actually make it so you can hear him, but if you can, say hi, Dashner. Good.
He can't.
Get back in your cage. Exactly where we want you. With the... Or, yeah. Anyways, just say with the gag in your mouth, but that's a different kind of dungeon. So going into this one, it looks like on the attacking side, it will be Chicken Ranch Pizza and Envision on the defense. Just going to move on from that one. We're going to see Crimzo, though.
Well, I'm certainly going to be keeping my eyes on Crimzo, where we will get a better idea of Sombra. Sombra is just one of those things where even if some plays a really good Zen, there's no guarantee they're going to be playing a good Sombra. It's kind of its own unique learning curve, different from most of the other heroes in the game.
But Keller's going to be on Widow, though, at least CPs, so we're going to see if he can kind of answer to the way Buds was playing Widow on Route 66. And Crimzo on the Sombra, trying to see like what he's doing. 20% on his EMP already, goes into the backline, looking for Gray, trying to do exactly what Gray did to him just before.
It's a little bit surprising to me that we don't have Buds on a Widow himself. Usually Buds does like running a defensive Widow here, backed up by a Mercy, but no. On the defensive Genji, Jaru just gonna get domed by Keller, and Keller's drawing attention back, which is even better. It means that it's effectively a 5-on-4 on the point, and the space being dominated on the point is great. There is an EMP coming out here late by Crimzo. Maybe that's gonna be enough. I just question if the fall through is gonna be there with Jaru being down, and the answer is no. The fall through is not really there the way they would like. Presence on the point being maintained by Chicken Ranch Pizza, and Keller still with all the room to work with and then some.
Yeah, but I mean, the way they were fighting initially for Chicken Ranch Pizza was like up on the high ground around the corner where Keller couldn't offer any support. But they've got a couple of kills, right? So they at least can kind of come back in full force while they're still waiting for the respawns to come back in or the reinforcements coming back in for the defending side. But yeah, like Keller, like I said, Keller's not really hit too many shots. I think he's done some decent damage. but not enough to finish off any kills.
Keller's going to activate the recon sight, and you're right. So the defense isn't fighting in such a way to not give Keller too many shots, but even just fighting that way to begin with is a bit of a disadvantage where you have to give the Widow that much respect, because if you don't, you see what Keller's doing right now, laying in the body shots, which is enough. It's still been a long back and forth defense. As Bud's finally Goomba stomps Keller, but might be too little too late.
I think they have enough people here. The Blade's going to be coming as well as the MP Smurf's going to fall, and they will hold. 97.5% built up, but they committed a lot of ultimates into this, and they actually need to be a little bit scared. Crimzo needs his EMP up, because if they lose this point without him, you know, building it up, they're not going to have the second point to stop the aggressive push.
Still a very nice comeback of the last moment by Buds there. Not only did he get the Widow, but the Blade finishing off the last two. 97.5%, not any margin left to spare. But it is going to require a very good sound barrier here to sort of set the stage, buy Crimzo some time. Meanwhile, the offense, they're just going directly on. There's not much chill in their setup. Keller takes down Buds, and once again, Keller's going to have room to work.
And he gets, yeah, he takes down Buds, like I said, and he's still looking for more. I don't think he has that many avenues to shoot for, and just as quick as I say that, it takes down McGravy. Vol's going to take down Jaru, and Keller's finally going to get another kill. That's 3 on the board for him in this fight. A lot of defensive ultimates up, though, for the side of Envision, so losing the second point with no offensive ultimates up for the side of Chicken Ranch Pizza is not very likely.
Well, the one way that could work out is to get an early pick, but it goes the other way around instead. Bud's able to find Gray early on, and Keller would have to just go absolutely mental here in the end to somehow bring this back. And no, Keller under pressure. Probably, even though he has recon sight, I would expect him to swap after this, and that's probably why he's burning it here.
All right, well, looking
He's
at
swapping.
Yeah. Okay. I was actually, yeah, trying to get to him to see something, but either way. So they're going for the dive slash a solo support. They're running Gray on the Reaper and 8 on the Lucio. So that's a lot of upfront damage that Shiny and McGravy have to respect and have to kind of hopefully not get too aggressive on, or get too caught out if they're too aggressive.
I'm curious to see if Crimson's going to stand the Sombra the entire time. I feel like Sombra does lose a little bit of effectiveness here on second, but teams have made it work. And oh no, Crimson just gets taken down. No EMP. Did he die into just the window where the EMP didn't come out at all?
Yep.
I don't know. On my...
The EMP, you committed it, but it didn't actually get activated, so he lost the 0%.
That's like a 2-frame window. Anyways,
Yep.
the Envision desperately trying to hold on here. Jaru being the rock and still might be okay, but no, Keller, dash, reset, clearing the way through. Gray has fallen, but Sharp and Keller are still very much a threat. And this offense of Chicken Ranch Pizza making a statement, and yet they still haven't gotten a tick.
I've heard of that game before. Dash Revolution, I think it's called. That's going to be a close one going off into the shield. Not really going to connect onto anyone, though. But the defending side, it's reinforcing, and they got a big kill on the Keller, so that one kill should be enough to turn the actual fight in their favor. Very close, but they didn't give up a single tick, so honestly, not bad for them.
Kind of nutty that at the end of it all, it's simply no ticks. For how long that fight went, for how much Keller was taking over towards the end, it was very good delay coming out by Envision to keep that where it was. But pressure, Jason coming back in. Keller has the Blade. Under pressure here by Winston, gonna have to back out. Not an ideal situation to use the Blade, but now it's back and forth. Bud's under pressure himself. Keller dancing in and around, Blade at the ready, poke damage on all sides. Keller, here comes the barrier onto him. You got the Blades coming soon, Jason.
Well, they also have this, the Death Blossom, but the EMP cancels out the Death Blossom. It's just on Keller for being able to pull out the Blade for a little bit of time. And the Blade will eventually come out, but it will be a little bit too late. Jaru already picks up a kill on the Gray, gets a decent on the Vol. I think they've got enough kills to stabilize this one as Fire's on the point. Buds comes back in with another Blade, builds up in back-to-back fights, gets the kill on the Vol with a reflect. I think they've done it. I think they've held.
They're very close to holding right now. Smurf for the last people on the point. Jaru just got to finish his plate. And Envision able to repel the invaders this time.
So could you say that Jaru finished his plate of Chicken Ranch Pizza?
Yes, he absolutely finished his plate of Chicken Ranch Pizza, and he ordered some pineapple pizza on the side just
Damn right.
because he's that deadly of a human being.
What? He's that great of a human being. His pineapple belongs on pizza. I'm telling you now, no ultimates up for either team really except Fire with the sound barrier. Jaru pulse one doesn't really count as an ultimate anyways. And look at Crimson actually just attacking from the high ground. His EMP's almost up yet again. He already shut down Gray with it last time. And with Vol already being desuited, that's a lost fight from the start.
And they don't even have to invest the EMP into this here. It's being won decisively enough that Crimson just gets to hold. And we're a minute 40 away here. There's not a whole lot of opportunities left for Chicken Ranch Pizza to get a successful attack. And you take a look at Elder Economy, I don't know where that successful attack is going to come from.
Well, I think that's why we're seeing maybe Bull switch over to Roadhog. I mean, his hook is basically an ultimate, right? If you hook someone in and you focus that target down, it gives you a quick kill. You can maybe transition that into another kill a little bit later on. Bloods, though, he's going to have another blade. Is this 3 back-to-back blades out of him?
It's blades for days right now on Buds is what it is. And yeah, I would look at Crimzo here. Everyone's grouping up. This is a picture-perfect EMP opportunity. Crimzo drops the EMP. Everyone wondering where their electronics went as Buds dives in with the blade, leading up what Crimzo has started. And that is poetry in motion.
You know what I say to that, CP?
What do you say to that?
Nice.
Nice.
That's so much better when you do it than I do it. So they commit EMP and a blade, and they've got a sound barrier, self-destruct, primal rage. Still trying to work up towards anything. I think Aid's been sitting on his sound barrier for a little bit of time, and fire as his own to use, but the EMP is about to be there. That's the problem. You need to be careful of really doing any chip damage against the Sombra. And if you save the EMP, which Crimzo's been doing against Aid, or if you just kill Aid outright with a pulse bomb, they're not even gonna have a sound barrier into this last potential push.
And I don't know if they really have enough time to reset up here. They just got mowed over once more. 20 seconds in progress, and now I think this is where we get to see Hero Smurf. He's going to have to jump over here, Jason, and activate Primal Rage. And this is just to hit the point. And they know that. He's already eating boatloads of damage. Smurf, now's your time. Fly, my monkey. Oh, he got EMP'd. There's no flying. Was it even EMP? Yes, it was. It's an EMP, not a hack. Doesn't even get a chance to fly onto the point. We are in overtime. It was touched, but what does it even matter as Keller is going to fall? That's going to be
the wise words of Linkin Park. In the end, it doesn't even matter. So they won't get any progress on the second point, ZP, but the first point, after like the first one and a half attacks, they looked fairly decent. But they ran into that whole somber recycle, reuse, repeat ultimates over and over and over again. It also helped that Bud's got like 3 blades in back-to-back-to-back fights.
Definitely been a banner day for Buds here so far. It has not been the best day for Chicken Ranch Pizza, although I find that hard to believe because as a food item, why would every day not be a great day for Chicken Ranch Pizza?
I love this. Well, I love this comment. Only intellectuals consume pineapple pizza. It's so true.
Pretty sure you have to have an IQ of over 160 to properly enjoy the nuances of fresh fruit on a pizza.
Well, that and Rick and Morty, so.
Yes. I mean, if you're not consuming your pineapple pizza while watching Rick and Morty, what are you doing with your life?
Failing.
Damn straight. But now we swap sides, and unfortunately for Chicken Ranch Pizza, they're up against a very tough challenge here where pretty much, Jason, if they want to walk with the W and not a tie, and the tie would be very difficult to get in and of itself, they're going to need to have a first point hold. That means Keller is going to have to be a god on this Widowmaker and just take Buds to Fusion University.
He has to take Bud to F you. But Buds, I mean, if he can carry over anything from what he did in Route 66 with Widowmaker, I'd be a little bit afraid for Keller. Hopefully we do have the Widow v Widow battle. I'm curious why we're seeing Fire on the Mercy. I'm imagining he's going to be switching since they're attacking and he can do that anyways. I mean, he could be on the Mercy to use Widow.
I think the reason why he would be on the Mercy is to bring Buds back up. This is the one sort of off pairing that you will see every now and then, which is that it really helps keep up pressure in Widow v Widow, where you kill someone as Widow, and then you're suddenly stressed out because that person's brought back up by a Mercy. So, oh! Keller down immediately. Buds doesn't need that extra life. Keller did, though. So Keller's back in progress as both teams were in the Mercy, and not going to res that one. Buds is once more on an immediate rampage.
Yeah, and you can see Keller playing very scared as he does it again. Buds, 3 kills in a row, twice on a Keller, and now he's gonna have free reign over this point. That allows Mercy to push in the rest of the team Fire to help heal everyone else up as Shiny gets brought down and brought back up. Buds gets a decent onto Vol, gets the kill to Vol. Buds has gotten 4 kills on this first point attack.
I've seen Buds play a lot, and this is one of the best days I've ever seen from him on Widow. It just feels like everything is duck hunt to him right now. This is crazy. I'm pretty surprised Fire didn't die there, or sorry, Aid didn't die there as he flew in, and sure, Keller just took him out, but feels like the damage has been done here as Envision is just going to swarm all over this point.
Yeah, that was disgusting. Remember, they only need that first third on the second point to win out this map, and to be up 2-0 against Chicken Ranch Pizza. Bud's pushing back in. He has Infra side up, or available to be used. He's going to be pressured by Vol, though, when he gets on the high ground here if he goes for it. But then again, he just has spots him out. Actually, using that ultimate, going for the high jump. He's looking for a shot, and you can see that Chicken Ranch Pizza are giving him so much respect for this.
And Buds right now, again, looking to the side. The recon site lets him take Gray out, invisibility or no. 3 unanswered kills by Envision and Jason. They are just throwing their lot in. They only need a little bit more. It's only 1 tick that's required. This is going to be ridiculous if Chicken Ranch Pizza somehow gets themselves out of this here, but there's no stopping Buds in the back. The blade is coming in from Jaru, and this should be the final cleanup needed to take this point for good for Envision. Everything goes their way. And yet, there's still contention going on, Jason.
Yeah, but they haven't lost anyone, and Buds is still attacking with the Widowmaker off the side. He's completely denying like one avenue of access in towards this point. People are staying so healthy because of Crimzo and the amount of healing he's able to do. No one's pressuring Buds as Keller's now looking for fire, and I think they're able to clear off the rest of them. It'll take a little bit of time, but they're not losing anyone for this.
Buds is still ripping apart the backline. Finally, it's Gray swapping, but no Gray. The terror's not over yet. Even if you were able to contest, Buds was getting thrown back up, and Buds can be incredibly proud about his performance there. That was every Widow's dream.
So, I don't know if we caught this on camera, but again, where the hell's Crimzo been all my life? He got stuck with a pulse bomb, and he faded to drop it and escape. It would have caught him and McGravy. McGravy got some distance because of the help of that, of it being dropped on the ground, and then McGravy survived, Crimzo survived, and the pulse bomb was wasted. Where's this guy been? He's played so damn well.
Crimzo has been impressive, and I don't know where he's been, but I'm lucky that we get to watch him now. But Chicken Ranch Pizza, this is where we expected more of them coming into this, where they looked very strong earlier in the day, but I don't know if anyone expected Hurricane Buds, because if you think back to Route 66, it was also Buds who made their last attack pretty much a non-factor with what was shutdown Widowmaker play.
Yeah, and it was like back-to-back kills on like really high priority targets that allowed them to put up that defense around that corner on the third point. Not sure what the third map's going to be here, ZP. We've got like Hollywood, we got Ilios, we have Lijiang Tower. There's a couple more I'm forgetting about. I honestly can't remember because actually, let me just alt tab out and find it real quickly.
I don't think you bring it to Hollywood. Hollywood is a very good Widow map at several points.
Dorado. We got Dorado. We haven't seen that played a single time yet today.
Dorado. The City of Gold. I don't know if, I mean, Dorado, it's okay against going against Widow, but I think Lijiang, forget whatever I was going to say. We have news. Smurf is being swapped out for the Emperor himself.
Okay.
Kaiser is coming in to the matchup. Yes, Jason?
Just give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
I just thought that was a dramatic pause.
I'll be right back. Just
Okay.
I'll leave my camera on so you see my sweet shorts, but 1 second.
Everyone look at Jason's shorts. Screen cap his shorts as he leaves. Find something. Oh boy. Now it's just me here on camera. And unlike Jeff Kaplan, I don't have a fire to sit by and just act stoic.
Just gonna take this and just rub it in. I don't know if people can see the whole thing.
Aha.
So yeah, from China, from APAC. I was saying before we had the little like player names. It looks backwards on my screen. I don't know if it's backwards for you guys.
It's fine. It looks perfectly normal.
My boy, not biased at all, coming in.
Run away. Run Kaiser.
Anyways, we have also Tizzy ones. There's like 8 Tizzy ones, and Jeremy started like, we don't really want it. I think we both took one anyways, but yeah, anyways.
I mean, you got one of the premium ones, I would say. Kaiser himself.
I'm gonna sell that on like eBay for like a whopping like $2.
I will buy this from you on my eBay Smurf account.
Oh, that's the worst. Smurf was removed from the custom game. He didn't get to leave on his own accord. He was kicked out of the custom game. Ouch.
He was removed from the branch of Chicken Ranch Pizza. You can now find Smurf at Pizza Hut. He is no longer part of the Denver Papa John's.
He played well. Honestly, I think he played really well.
Yeah.
I don't know the reasoning behind the change, but
I assume it was just to give Kaiser playtime where Kaiser was supposed to play anyways. Like, in all seriousness, there's no like shame on Smurf. I don't think he's played bad at all today.
Sorry, I'm just trolling him in chat a little bit. He's the nicest guy, I swear to God. I say this every time. When we were in China, like we were in. He thought it was Jeff. Okay, so when we were in the hotel during APAC, like every morning, like Jeremy starts sitting down eating breakfast, and he just comes over and says, "Hey guys," you know, he's always like to say hi, be friendly.
I'm just glad that I'm no longer false advertising, where not only have we found out that Kaiser is friendly, but he also get to watch him play. Where I made a post on Reddit, and look, my post are my bonges. I said Kaiser would be featured here today, and he hadn't shown up until now.
I mean, he goes to all like the hottest restaurants. No, the chillest restaurants. He's friends with all the hottest dudes. Like,
yes, I feel like that thing originally was like hottest restaurants and chillest dudes, and then it just swapped,
maybe
inadvertently.
If Jamerson's watching right now, he's like so mad that I showed that because he gave it to me because he got like the Vici gaming outfit. So credit to him to give me the Kaiser label.
Well, we are heading into Lijiang Tower. It's going to be the night market, and we'll see what Kaiser does as he's opening things up here on the Winston for Chicken Ranch Pizza. Not going to be a mirror matchup here, though, Jason. Buds on the 76. Meanwhile, we're seeing double flanker from Chicken Ranch Pizza, so we're already going to get that disparity between the two teams where Envision's going to look to play this a little bit further back and try and utilize that 76's poking power.
I wonder how Kaiser's going to play, though, because keep in mind, he's in Korea, and apparently his internet's been having problems, so he said ready to play with 300 ping, so I actually really wonder how it's going to affect him and the team here, but it seems like they need something out of him that Smurf wasn't giving them. As we do kick things off in Lijiang Tower, it could potentially be an Envision 3-0 if they can pick off this map.
Chicken Ranch Pizza going in. Kaiser off the leap in, finishes Sharp's plate. Bud's going to fall. Kaiser, though, falls a turn. Bit of a tank disparity now for Chicken Ranch Pizza, but they finish off iShiny, which gets them back up and in the lead. And now you think this is where Chicken Ranch Pizza, they're going to go back to the point. You've gotten an edge, you solidify control on the point, you make people dive on you, as Vol sowing chaos with that dive in with the Diva missiles. It's looking pretty good for Chicken Ranch Pizza to start things out.
Oh, Shiny's coming back in, though, trying to catch Sharp out as he's over a little bit aggressive. And Kaiser just being the gatekeeper. Forget the Emperor, he's the gatekeeper of the front of this point. Locking them down with the shield, trying to keep them away. And they do have a fantastic start here, 10% in building. Ultimate's going to be coming online soon for both teams, but Jara already has the pulse bomb up, and Buds catches out on Aid with the Helix rocket. That gives them the early frag they need to make this push work.
Buds, no, not a Widowmaker, and yet still finding ways to snipe. Vol taken down early, and this might not be a fight. It could, however, be a slaughter, as Envision just easily rotates onto the point, and they're going to get the first cap of the round. For them, not overall. Clarification is important.
Well, we do have Trance coming up soon, though, or it is now up for Grey. Crimzo, only 8% away, still have that for the fight, and Kelly's going to have a blade. So I wonder if Gray's going to be able to save the Trance for, like, Buds' tack visor, or if they can use it for something else. Use it for an engagement they force, or use it for a catch of an engagement the enemy team uses against them.
I think they're just going to dive in, use the Transcendence, back it up with the blade. That's what makes sense to me. Keller, here comes the blade, diving to the backline, immediately erases Bloods, and he's not done yet. Jaro going down as well. It's finally going to fall, but the damage has been done. Volt was demeched and all that, but no, Gray and 8 still have their support ults here, Jason. This could be a big victory in ult economy.
Oh, double Soundburst coming in for both teams.
No.
Transcendence, that's going to be a stacking of support ultimates. And if they definitely don't win this fight, this could be a major flop for the team. Bud's coming in with attack fires, the Soundburst ward up, and Kaiser trying to knock them off the point, but he gets knocked himself. He has no opportunity to knock anyone off the map, but no, Bud's is right next to him, and Kaiser's going to have to retreat. He's going to have to get back towards his team, but they still have the men alive.
I might have cast or cursed Chicken Ranch Pizza so incredibly hard because it went from a great ult economy fight to a bad one. They layered the support ultimates in. They still haven't taken control. And I got news for you, Jason. They might not take control, period. They're starting to get pushed back, and that's going to be it. Back to spawn you go without your support ultimates. Pretty big disaster there for Chicken Ranch Pizza.
Worst part is they don't get to collect their $200 either as they go back to their own spawn. Sharp's going to have a pulse bomb, and just like Jaru hitting a stick onto Vol, while Vol was desuited, I mean, it's already hard enough to hit a stick, period, but to hit it on a baby Diva, allow them to go for that initial capture they're able to pull off here. But here's the push in directly. They're not wasting any time driving directly on toward the point. And Sharp still has pulse bomb up, uses it, doesn't seem to have connected onto anything though.
That pulse bomb was forced and then some. I think he just freaked out because of how low his AP was, but now he's going to the back. Buds his main target. The Bud's getting healed back up by the Transcendence. The pickoff's not going to be there. Keller investing a blade in what could be a losing fight.
What's
the
last
gravy,
fight for them
but
almost?
I don't think he's going to get too much towards the end. Jaro and Sharp still doing work, and Jaro just doing a little bit more. D-meching Vol and setting the stage. Envision going to... Well, they lost control of the point during all that, despite winning the fight.
Yeah.
Now they're going to retake the point, so not entirely a loss for Chicken Ranch Pizza there.
Well, it's still going to be a very scrappy fight because they're going to have to rush out to touch it. 91%. Kaiser does not have his Primal Rage to get there, so Vol's going to be the one to have to get there. Maybe Kaiser already jumps ahead in front of his team. You have to be so careful because if you're Ice Shiny, you're trying to knock people off the map. You have every opportunity to do it, but no one to connect onto. And there's a Transcendence out of Gray to keep them healthy as they do push it.
Gray, lucky not to get knocked off there. A little bit of fancy floating. Oh, almost gets booped off by Lucio. Meanwhile, though, Bud's on the point. Tac Visor takes down Aid, sets the stage, gets another. Bud's with plenty of room to work with. No one on him in this critical juncture. And Envision, well on their way to taking the first round here in Lijiang, and they will.
And Bud's got a crucial kill into Vol too, because Vol used the self-destruct because he was being desuited, also to zone Buds at the same time. But Buds finished him off right before he got the resuit back in, so there's no chance of that Diva to be there to maybe have had a different effect on that fight. We're into potentially the final point of Lijiang Tower, the final point of the series, and funny enough, the final point of the night. We were expecting, 6 best of 5s. We'd be here till like 5 a.m. my time, so another 4 hours to go. But with all 3-0 so far today, it's been a very relatively fast day.
It has been a very quick day, and means that we might be able to catch some of the other game that shall not be named after all. Though probably not you. You're probably going to go to sleep.
What game?
What game indeed? Nothing happens on Sunday.
Got it.
All right.
Watch the Eagles lose.
Yeah. Give Hex some crap after. That's my game plan. Because if he beats both my teams, I'm just going to cry.
It's a
but
good
Envision,
game,
moving forward, Bud's in the side house right now, using it for cover, but still getting plenty of damage done at the same time. Envision just outright winning the poke war now, and with Keller falling, it's going to go all the more in Envision's favor. Got to think that Chicken Ranch Pizza has to give up the first control.
Jaro is 70% of his pulse bomb. They get the fight relatively easy. Again, Crimzo getting the better of Gray here in the Zen v Zen battles. This guy has been massively stepping up, whether it's Sombro, whether it's Zenyatta. He's been doing a great job, and he gets another one to 8!
Oh, what? Crimzo is better at killing supports than his own DPS, and his DPS are actually pretty good. I don't know what brave world we're living in right now, but Boombox, eat your heart out.
Gray almost got caught there, it felt like. Yeah, 22%. Remember, this is potentially the final point. It's only a best of 3 here on Lijiang Tower, and Envision up 2-0 in the series. They're coming around towards White Rooms, towards White Halls. Jaro has a pulse bomb almost up. This is just perfect prime picking for him. If he can get this up and catch onto someone, that's an easy 2-3K. Pulse bomb goes in.
Does it stick? It sticks. Gray out of the fight immediately. Jaro finding the way. As Envision just easily taking this fight after the pulse bomb. And Chicken Ranch Pizza, they just felt like they had to dive in after the bomb, and I mean, they probably did, but just a little bit extra stagger for good measure on Vol.
I legit thought you were trying to make a meme reference there.
I mean, it's one of those,
showing him the way. Do you know the way?
I think it's one of those things where I kind of was, or I... Okay, stop spitting on me. What in the world? Uncool, Jason. I thought we were friends.
Anyways, into the White Hall push yet again. Here's 70%. Buds has attack visor. Not the best ultimate to use in this position. But Jaro is still towards the back, and Jaro again gets the kill into Gray. Not a pulse bomb this time. The pulse rifle is all he's going to need. And there's going to be a Transcendence out of Crimzo to push in.
All right, Jaro falling here early. Chicken Ranch Pizza now with perhaps the best opportunity they've had all round long. The gravy getting chewed through here by Keller. Keller looking for Crimzo in the back. It can be deadly with how Crimzo has played this. Meanwhile, Buds, attack visor of his own, moving right back in. Keller out of the fight from the combined dive. And Buds might be bringing this back, but no, under pressure, taken down by the self-destruct. It's back and forth, but it's still held by Envision. You cannot forget this point. This is do or die now for Chicken Ranch Pizza.
Jaru's got a pulse bomb, and he's got every opportunity to close to now A, trying to keep the point alive. Keller, though, picking up 2 big frags that they needed to turn this point around. Shiny's going to eventually fall as Keller's kept alive by his supports in his biotic field, and they will finally turn the...
What a Helix rocket from Buds there, grabbing Sharp at the end. Not enough to sway the fight, but if they go quick enough here, Jason, it might be enough to get a little bit of momentum.
All he needs is this pulse bomb too, especially with how close they're holding together. Looks like Jaro's going on the long flank, allowing Bloods to play from the front. And Bloods, Bud's playing on the edge here. Like on the edge of the bridge, could potentially be booped off, trying to bait them in. And that's the back coming from Jaro. They're gonna have to give him some sort of attention. Pulse gonna land on the Vol, and they're gonna get the D-suit most importantly. They need the follow-up kill onto him though.
All right, Chicken Ranch Pizza still holding control right now, even with Vol being debacked. Sharp moving in and around, looking for the Tracer v Tracer right now. And no, actually decides doesn't want it. Jaro out of the fight anyways, and Chicken Ranch Pizza going to hold. But the question is for how long? Because if you're Envision right now, you can just bank up ults for a while and go in with one major push.
They can. I feel like Whitehall is the best way to go here. Don't push across the bridge when you have a loose in the enemy team. Even though Kaiser did just use his Primal Rage. You know it's going to be up relatively soon. Sharp trying to go in towards the backside. Pulse Bomb does land, but does not kill anyone. And there's Gray using the Transcendence.
Gray using the Transcendence. Chicken Ranch Pizza being a little bit dangerous on the bridge there for a moment. They back up, and meanwhile Keller, plenty of things in his sights. Grabs two, looking for more. Now he's going to change his attention to Tracer. And Jaro wants no part of it. He's going to back out. It's another reset for Envision. And Chicken Ranch Pizza, Jason, about 1 to 2 fights away from bringing this one back from the brink.
I think we're actually going into like the last big fight. We're gonna have like a little bit of a skirmish at the end, but you can see them all still respawning back in. They're grouping up. They're going towards Whitehall this time. This is gonna be the last fight decided at this point. And potentially could be going Envision's way, or could be seeing a third map here on Lijiang Tower. Bud's leading the charge. He's got his Tac Visor, but again, the Tac Visor's not good in this position. Maybe if he flanks around the back, he can make it work, but it's such a risky play.
They need to chew through the tanks first. That leads the way for the Tac Visor, and Jaro going to take down Gray with the aid of Buds. Now Buds moving forward, doesn't care about the visor, or about the barrier, uses the visor anyways. Finds Sharp, gets a double kill when it matters most, and Envision on their way to making this a 3-0 over Chicken Ranch Pizza. Dinner is served. Time ticking down.
Oh, that's good. That was the perfect way to end it. I was like, all right, dinner served. I'm done. No way to go about that.
Yeah, I really just said that like a second or two too early, but it's fine. We're good.
So
we've been casting 6 sets in a row.
Yeah, it's 6 sets of best of 5s, and they're all 3 mappers, all 3 zeros.
It wasn't as long as it could have been, but it just means that tomorrow is going to be super close on both the upper bracket end and the lower bracket end. That's how it's
true. Well, speaking of the upper bracket and the lower bracket end, let's just take a quick second to kind of talk about the matches we have coming up tomorrow. So, kicking off tomorrow at the same time. No, 1 hour later. No, 4 hour. 2. Help me out here. Is it 4 hours later?
Oh, you're asking me schedule stuff. I am very fried on this now. This is where I'm just gonna have to go look for my own reference. When do we start?
17.
Tomorrow?
So we start 5 hour. Oh my god, this is confusing.
What is the time? Like, tell me the.
Oh, here we go. So time Pacific tomorrow at 2 p.m. 1400.
2 p.m. Pacific.
For me, it starts at 11 p.m. Okay.
All right.
And that'll be LCG up against Odo BLMP, and then we have after that match the Savages versus Kungarna, and then we will have some maps that are not really decided just yet. Depends on the winners of certain maps. So. I can't read this because I'm an idiot. But let's just say we have more matches coming tomorrow. They'll all be best of 3s. Nope, there'll be 2 best of 5s tomorrow. I'll get there eventually. 4 best of 3s? 4 best of 3s, 2 best of 5s, and then coming up on the final day, we'll have 1 best of 5 and 1 best of 7. Got there eventually, guys.
All right. There you have it. That is the path in front of us, but 2 more good days of Overwatch on the way. And hey, as we head off here, I want to say thank you to Jason for coming on and casting. Thank you to Dasher for being our great production and observer guy for the event. Dasher's done a lot of great work behind the scenes. Hasn't always got the credit he deserves, but he's great. But guys, hopefully you'll join us tomorrow for more Overwatch action here at the Overwatch Beat Invitational Season 3. We'll see you then.